Be me 23. Philosophy degree collecting dust in a cardboard box under my bed. Working a dead-end shift at a coffee shop because rent doesn't pay itself. Live in sketchy apartment with roommates who treat showers like a suggestion. Life espresso shots and existential dread. One slow afternoon. Door chimes. In walks a girl who looks like she belongs on a movie poster. Solid 9 out of 10, cinematic lighting, probably just from the cafe bulbs. Simple outfit, nothing try hard. And these eyes, piercing blue like someone photoshopped the Atlantic. She orders a black coffee. My hands decide to audition for a viral fail video while I pour. She watches me like she's memorizing the contours of my face. When I hand it over, she reaches, lightly grabs my wrist. Thank you, darling. Darling? She leaves, and I spend the rest of the shift replaying that wrist grab like it was a phone notification. Next day. She's back. Same order, same stare. This time she leans on the counter and asks, "How was your sleep last night?" Confused deer noise in my brain. Fine, I guess. Good. You always were a heavy sleeper. You always? We met yesterday. What universe is she from? Third day, she leans in like it's normal to whisper into a stranger's life. This is going to sound crazy, but in another timeline, we're married. My brain does a soft reboot for 10 seconds. She goes on, "Your name is Derek. You work as an accountant. You hate cilantro." I flail internally because my name is actually Derek, and cilantro does taste like soap. Challenge mode engaged. Prove it, I say, half joking, half expecting a stalker, TBD. She smiles, calm as if she's reading from a grocery list. Touches my sleeve, lifts it, points to a pale crescent scar on my left shoulder. Fell off your bike at 7. You cried for 2 hours because your mom wouldn't let you sleep over at Tommy's. My soul does a weird flip because 1, yes, and 2, nobody knows about the Tommy sleepover except my cousin, who lives 5 states away. Immediately check the scar like I'm verifying credentials. She continues like a human audiobook. In that timeline, you proposed to me at the Botanical Gardens on a rainy Tuesday. You dropped the ring twice. You wore a blue tie with little sailboats. Image forms in my head like a trailer scene. Something about the details makes my chest hurt in a curious, electric way. Text roommate Jason under the counter while pretending to wipe up a spill. Me. Dude, weird chick at work, claims we're married in another timeline. Jason. Dude, stop reading weird Reddit threads. Me. She knows about my scar from falling off a bike when I was 7. Jason, stalker level, Olympian. Me. She said my name is Derek. It is. And I hate cilantro. I do. Jason. Okay, either she's a psychic or you caught the attention of a sociopath. Me. Prove it. She knows where I proposed in their timeline and what tie I wore. Jason. Buy a tinfoil hat and run. OR, get coffee with her and gather intel. Me. I already made her black coffee for 3 days in a row and almost cried. Jason. Alibi. He was being emotionally manipulated by a mysterious stranger. Classic. Part of me is convinced she's a dedicated stalker. Other part thinks maybe the universe finally decided to be weird and interesting for once. Jason says I'm losing it and demands photographic evidence, as if that's not why God invented phones. Meanwhile, I'm low-key waiting for the next time she calls me darling like it's a password. Next week. She keeps popping up like a recurring subplot. Shows up at the library aisle I'm hiding in. Pretends to run into me while I smell like old coffee and insecurity. Drops another memory. You always hum when you're nervous. At my face when she describes my subconscious thumb hum that I thought nobody noticed. Start hyper-aware of every tiny noise I make. She tells me about biscuits. He used to steal socks. You'd blame the washing machine. My brain, I had a cat named Biscuit when I was 9, but it died before 5th grade. Why would she know that? She says in their timeline we adopted Biscuits from a shelter in town. My throat gets tight for reasons I can't explain. The details get weirder and softer. Describes our argument about my refusal to assemble IKEA furniture. How we made up by ordering terrible takeout and watching cartoons till midnight. How we fell asleep on the couch and woke up with crumbs in our hair. It's oddly domestic, not mystical, like someone read my diary and rewrote it as fanfic. Jason notices I'm spacing during shifts, starts chiming in with his conspiracy hotline. Start doing actual research because apparently I have no boundaries. Multiverse theory, false memories, confabulation, suggestibility. Rabbit hole hits hard at 2 a.m. Read forum posts where people swear they remember alternate lives after being primed by friends. Feel like a lab rat wearing noise-canceling headphones. Part of me hopes there's an explanation that isn't someone graded you like a thesis subject. She texts me out of the blue, "Dinner tonight?" My brain. Do I accept a date with the woman who claims we married in another timeline? My fingers shake while I type, "Okay." Jason. Dude, don't. Jason. Tell her you need to bring a witness. Me. Real mature. Jason. I'm protecting you. Maybe bring pepper spray. Me. I have to work closing shift. Can you cover? Jason. Only if you promise me you'll wear a helmet. Me. I'm literally a grown man being advised to wear a helmet for a dinner. Jason. For emotional protection, bro. Dinner arrives faster than my courage. She takes me to a fancy place I couldn't afford on a philosophy salary. Phone busted. Decide to deal with it later. We sit in a dim booth that smells like butter and decision regret. She orders for both of us without asking. Knows I hate cilantro and picks dishes accordingly. How does she know this? I barely know this myself. She tells a story about our 3rd anniversary there. Describes the waiter with a chipped tooth who spilled wine on me. Exactly how the one tonight looks and exactly how my blue shirt would react to red. She talks about giving me her cardigan that night to cover my stain. I glance down. I actually have a cardigan like that tucked away at home. Nervous laughter escapes like a squeaky hinge. Conversation flows like we tuned a radio to the same frequency. She finishes my sentences sometimes, and it doesn't feel invasive, just comfortable. When I talk about stupid things, Pokemon cards, riding bikes, why I failed an accounting class, she listens like I'm the only channel on her playlist. Walk home after dinner, air smells like late summer streetlights. She drops me at my building like it's the last stop on a private tour. "See you tomorrow, husband," she says with that same small smile. My stomach flips like an animation frame. That night, dreams come heavy and vivid. Propose in a wet botanical garden, ring slipping twice from my trembling fingers. Wake up with the image burned in my chest. Put my number on old phone, check phone for her text. Nothing. Realize I never set up autosync. Regret. Go to work in a fog. Imagine her sitting at the 3rd table, watching the door like it's Apex Theater. Every time the bell jingles, my pulse spikes and I hope it's her. 3 days pass and no sign. Panic sneaks in like an uninvited critique. Start checking news, scrolling missing persons pages like a lunatic. Jason. Dude, stop doing that. Call her. Me. Don't have her number. Jason. How do you not have her number after dates? Me. I dropped and broke my phone. Forget to ask for her number again. Dinner was weirdly old-fashioned. Jason. What do you mean old-fashioned? You had sexual dialogue. Me. Shut up. That is not the point. Finally, on day 4, she reappears, tired, eyes rimmed in red like she hasn't been sleeping. Orders black coffee, barely makes eye contact. "There's something I need to tell you," she says quietly. My heart recalibrates to nuclear alert settings. She sits with her coffee, not even drinking. Blue eyes dulled, tapping the cup like it's a metronome for bad news. "The alternate timeline thing," she says, voice low. "It's not exactly true." Brain.exe stops. No shit, Sherlock, but I let her keep going. She explains. She's a psychology student, doing research on suggestibility, memory implantation. Picked me because I looked lonely but interesting. Ouch. Spent weeks digging into my background. Social media, public records, old classmates, even random forums. Stitched together enough details to weave a story. The scar, the cilantro, Pokemon cards, the butterfly phobia. All stalker-level research. My alternate marriage, just an experiment. She admits it spun out of control. Supposed to be academic, detached. But she started enjoying the time with me. Liked seeing me light up at her stories. Felt guilty once she realized it wasn't just data anymore. That's why she vanished. She didn't know how to tell me. Me, bro, Jason, dude, did you die? Me, worse. She's not a psychic vampire wife. She's a psych student. Jason, what? Me. Psychology experiment, false memories. I was the lab rat. Jason, bro, me. She stalked me for weeks for data, Jason. That's horrifying, but also kind of impressive. Me. She confessed she caught feelings, though. Jason, classic, girl runs unethical experiment, falls for test subject, rom-com of the year. Me. I don't know if I should be pissed or flattered. Jason, both. Pissed in public, flattered in private. I sit with Rachel in the cafe after close. Awkward silence between us. The smell of burnt espresso lingering like third wheel. So none of it was real? I ask. She winces, shakes her head. The marriage, the timelines, those were made up. But the connection, that was real. She looks at me with this sincerity that feels heavier than all her fake memories combined. Can we start over? She asks. No timelines, just me and you. Sit there for a long minute. Cafe hums around us like background track in someone else's life. Rachel folds her hands, looks smaller and more tired than the rom-com montage suggested. I know I messed up, she says. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. My brain has a spreadsheet of reasons to be angry, but there's also a folder named Reasons to Keep Coming Back that keeps auto-saving. Agree to try starting over. We decide honesty, no fabricated memories, no games. She promises transparency. I promise no tinfoil hats, for now. First real date is awkward as hell. We meet at a diner. She arrives 5 minutes late, hair messy but smiling like apology wrapped in caffeine. We actually shake hands like two normal humans. Conversation is stilted at first, like learning a new social protocol. We trade real stories this time. My embarrassing accounting class fail. Her reason for studying psychology, family stuff, wanting to understand why people hurt each other. She listens as if every word is something to protect, not to weaponize. Jason texts me a running commentary that I can feel through my phone buzzing in my pocket. Me. We restarted. No timelines. Just a real attempt. Jason. Dude, are you being serious? Me. Yes, we're at a diner. Jason. Bless. Also tell her to watch her ethics professor's nightmares. Me. Shh. Jason. Bring a witness next time. Or a judge. Or me. Diner finishes pancakes. Conversation warms. She asks stupid little questions like, what's your favorite stupid movie? And remembers my answer later. Small stuff that builds trust. She tucks a napkin into my pocket when I spill syrup like she's folding Band-Aids for fragile things. Walk back to my building together in that awkward half-dark between dusk and night. She walks with small, confident steps. I walk like an apologetic giraffe. At the stoop, she hesitates. I know I hurt you, she says. I get that trust is earned. I'll take whatever time you need. I open my mouth to say something clever and instead say, don't disappear again. She nods, eyes watery for a second. I won't, she says. We hug, tentative and real, not scripted. It feels like pressing pause on the worst part and play on something maybe good. Next few weeks, we text all day about stupid things. She sends me a photo of a cat at a shelter and writes, biscuits look alike, then immediately adds, JK, I'm not adopting pets until I've passed ethics class. I tell her about my favorite ramen spot. She drags me there and criticizes my seasoning choices like a benevolent food critic. We do tiny domestic things that used to be the fabricated timelines domain. Grocery runs, arguing about the right way to load a dishwasher, there is a wrong way apparently, and watching dumb movies until we fall asleep on the couch. Trust is a patchwork quilt and we're sewing it slowly. Each honest conversation, a square. Jason notices. Me. She's trying, being real. It's weird, but good. Jason. Dude. I knew it. Lab experiment. Genuine human. Script by fate. Me. Stop romanticizing my trauma. Jason. Bro. She gave you a real cardigan once and didn't mean for it to be a prop. Milestone. Me. She didn't give me the cardigan. She lent it, temporarily. Jason, semantics. Invite me to the wedding when it's in the multiverse. Months in, Rachel shows up at my place without timelines, just carrying groceries like a casual girlfriend. She teases me for owning only 2 pans and 1 spatula. Makes me promise we'll buy a real kitchen set once I have money. We watch stupid cooking videos together, and she rates them like she's Gordon Ramsay. By the way, start taking accounting classes. Surprisingly, actually enjoy it. Still, Jason's paranoia infects me sometimes. Wake up at night thinking maybe she's still studying me, just emotionally now. But then I remember her curled up on the couch, laughing at dumb memes, genuinely tired after her shifts. She opens up more too, tells me about her professor being disappointed, but also telling her that mistakes don't define the rest of her work. Admits she was scared I'd never forgive her. Says she doesn't forgive herself yet. I tell her she doesn't need to rush. Trust rebuilds slower than IKEA shelves. She laughs, leans her head on my shoulder, whispers, "Thanks for letting me try again." Jason's still on high alert. Invites me to his place one night. Bro night only. We drink cheap beer, play video games badly. In the middle of Mario Kart, he pauses and says, "Look, dude, I joke a lot, but I just don't want you to get hurt. You deserve someone who doesn't mess with your head." I look at him, controller buzzing in my hands. Tell him I know, but she's more than her experiment now. He grunts, mutters, "Just don't let her gaslight you into thinking you're Luigi." We laugh, but I get what he means.